So let's talk about liposuction, since this patient called about liposuction and you heard what happened. Patient says, I want whole body liposuction. She is thinking, I want to lose weight. She is plump, she is overweight, she wants to lose weight. This is one of the myths that I always try to clarify. मैंने सब पेशेंट्स को बोला है कि वजन कम नहीं होता है. देयर इज नो वे. Liposuction, you do any amount of liposuction, you will hardly lose 2 kgs, 3 kgs max. In the rare patient, first of all, I don't like to do so-called mega liposuctions, massive, 15 liter fat nikalo, 20 liter fat. I don't like to do that. It has its own implications, which we can talk about later. But these patients also don't lose more than 3 kg of overall weight. So the first point is that overweight patients are actually not great candidates. So who's a candidate for liposuction? Your liposuction average weight is the best. Even less than average also fantastic. Because in some women, by nature, by morphology means body का structure कैसा है, something which is derived from ages, nature ने जो दिया है हमको. Some women will have these bulges, otherwise very thin, okay, but they have these bulges on the hips. We call them love handles very fondly. Saddlebags, that of course comes from, what saddlebags comes from, right? Saddlebags are basically collection of fat right here, just on the outside of the thigh. So you heard of these things called jodhpurs, these pants called jodhpurs. You see they have that shape. So when you're riding a horse or something, these colonials, they used to have these big pockets there, and so that's saddlebags. So these are the ideal things. So something which spoils the shape, the form of the human body, and mostly in women, okay, then we can take care of that by liposuction. So it's like a limited, so it's an area wise procedure. There is no such thing as a whole body liposuction. Average or less than average. Not that we can't do liposuction in overweight patients. Overweight patients में भी कर सकते हैं. ज़्यादा वजन है, maybe 90 kg का लेडी है, 100 kg, you कर सकते हैं. But those are, even those, you can't do gross liposuctions. It has to match the overall figure उसका. Okay, so you do liposuctions from the arms, you do from the, make a narrower waist. So it's okay, but the ideal, like I said, average weight, bulges here and there which are not going to go. With these bulges, they don't go, these morphological bulges, they do not go with weight loss. Okay, the person tries to वजन कितना भी कम किया, वो bulge तो वैसे ही वैसा रहता है. What is liposuction? The biggest, the confession that I can make today is that I consider, this is my personal, that जितना सर्जरीज मैं करता हूँ उसमें से सबसे ब्रूटल सर्जरी, सबसे ज़्यादा डैमेज करने वाला सर्जरी is liposuction. Cannot be taken lightly. It has a lot of effects on the overall body systems. Because liposuction जब हम कर रहे हैं ना, that full area, so it's like a volume पूरा damage हो रहा है. Okay, another myth. Let's talk about this. People say liposuction fat suck किया. Fat suck किया का मतलब क्या है? In their mind, I feel they have a concept कि उधर उधर oil भरा है, उधर butter पड़ा है, some kind of fatty thing is there, और उसको suck किया है. It's not like that. That is fat which has accumulated in the form of lipid molecules, and that is now, it is accumulated inside your body ka tissue. There are certain cells which are fat cells, adipocytes. These are meant to store fat as a source of energy. you take in a lot of calories, it gets converted into a form of energy and it gets stored in these cells, and these cells can become bigger and bigger and bigger. So what we do with liposuction, we are actually sucking out your tissue, it's your cells, it's part of your body that we are damaging and we are sucking out. So instead of just cutting, which is like a two-dimensional injury, this is three-dimensional injury, vastly multiplied, and hence it actually initiates a number of changes which what we call inflammation, which is a part of wound healing, and those changes can sometimes be quite severe. I have seen and had one patient at least where the patient ka BP low ho gaya, and patient was admitted for 10 days, recovery hone ke liye 2 hafta laga and all that, when we do too much of liposuction. So it's not a suck out fat, go home and do what you want the next day. It has its implications. Recovery में time लगता है, काफ़ी सारा इंजुरी होता है liposuction में जो दिखता नहीं है, because it's done through a small tube. So in the procedure, what we actually do is we use very fine small tubes. So there is no cut, no injury, no scar on the outside. वो ट्यूब अंदर डाल के उससे जैसा वी फील what is necessary उतना sculpt किया जाता है fat under the skin. Okay, this is peripheral fat. So you sculpt the fat, whether it is underarms, whether it is tummy, whether it is hips, wherever. उधर से वो fat को sculpt करके shape किया जाता है. Then it's not a method of removing fat or losing weight. Okay. So I think all these myths are there, and they are best cleared when you go to your surgeon and the person who's going to do it for you. And I think do not, like I said, expect a lot of weight to go down. The other thing is, after the liposuction, remember that the result is never immediate. The result does not show up after 1 week. It will start showing up after 2 weeks, but that is not the full result. It will keep on improving. 3 weeks better, 4 weeks even better, 6 weeks even better. By 6 weeks, you usually get almost, I would say, 80-90% of the result. But for a final good result where everything has shrunk back to the shape that we want, it takes at least 3 months, sometimes 4 months. Even some plastic surgeons will say wait for 6 months. So, that's about the result. And during that period of time, at least the first 6 weeks is what I like, is to wear a tight garment which holds the skin in position and squeezes the tissues together so that healing takes place much better. Although I have my doubts about how much this really works, because I have seen a lot of patients who wear garments rigidly and still they have problems with the results, and I have seen patients who hardly wear the garment and still get fantastic results. So, but anyway, the convention is that garment पहनना अच्छा होता है. So that's the other thing about it. In a ideal patient, the results can be very, very pleasing and makes patients very happy. I think that's